I'm Steve Rossi. I run this event. Thank you all for coming out and volunteering your time for these kids. I started in Science Olympiad 12 years ago when my boy was a fourth grader, and now he is now a junior in college. So I have no kids in this organization anymore. My daughter plays travel sports, so she's out, and my two boys are in college. They both come home to help me run this event the day of the competition. A lot of you know me from the past. I'm pretty easygoing, but the thing that stresses me a lot is this is the kids' event. Every year I have a problem with this parent telling Jimmy how to do this. Well, there's time for coaching and there's time to let them go. The day of the competition is theirs. Success, failure, they learn from it. Before that competition, you can tell them all you want. You can tell them what to do if this is what you choose, and not let them have any ideas. That's your choice. But these kids are amazing what they'll learn. What they'll try, they'll blow you away, I promise you. Maybe not the first year, but when the second and third year down, it's amazing some of the things they come up with. So my suggestion is, I've been through it, especially for the new people, let them try things, let them fail, let them succeed. So good things come from it, that's how they learn. When they come and check in, I'll know within 2 minutes of me talking to them who built that rocket. I'll know if you built it or they built it. And they will rat you out in a heartbeat. I'm serious as a heart attack when I say it, because one of the first things I'll say, they did it. They're afraid to talk to me, and they're going to rat you out. Could just sign in and take one of these DVCs. Okay, great. And there's a set of these. Thanks. So I'm just kind of going to run down the rules with you. And not a lot has changed from last year. Pretty much everything's the same. So first thing is, your team's usually 1 to 3 people. 1 people won't work. You got to have at least 2. Some schools have alternates. I don't have any problem with sending 4 and 5 people out to the launcher, as long as they have eyeglass protection. But what will happen is, if they medal, only 3 people can get the medals. So if you got 2 alternates or 1 alternate, you send 4 out to the launcher, and they do place 1 through 7, they're only going to give medals to the top 3, and only 3 can go on the stage. So it's a choice you guys make. If you want all 4 to come out, I don't have a problem with it. Construction, they got to be built this year. We don't want rockets from last year. We don't want parachutes from last year. We want everything to come that the kids built this year as a team. Rockets, pressure vessel. I prefer a pop pressure vessel. They hold a little more PSI than a Hawaiian punch bottle. So it really doesn't matter, but you won't have a chance of explosion if there's a bottle like this. You cannot modify this bottle in any way. All you can do is take off the label. You can't scratch it, you can't put holes in it. That has to remain intact. Last year we had a bottle blow up on the pad because somebody did modify this bottle. A lot of things we can't see in inspection because they're either painted, they got tape on them, so we can't see everything in inspection. You might be able to get something by us, but ultimately when we put 75 pounds of pressure in it, if it blows up, we know it's been tampered with. And it is kind of scary for the kids. They laugh about it afterwards, but it is dangerous. If anybody's not behind the plastic screen here, it is dangerous because everything just blows apart. So please do not mess with this bottle whatsoever. You can do whatever you want to the extension, whatever you want to the nose cone, but this bottle here must stay intact. Fins, parachutes, everything can be, they can add whatever they want. Fins they use to make it go straight. Parachutes make it come down. Some people choose not to use parachutes. It's not on the rule sheet here, but we do need 1.5 inches above the bottle before the fin starts. It has to clear the launcher. So if it doesn't clear the launcher, the kids will have time to fix their bottle before they launch. But as soon as they check that bottle in with me, they cannot take it back to you. They have to do the repair. They have to do everything on their own at another table inside. Hopefully we're back on the football field this year because it's easier for me to keep you guys away. It sounds terrible, but it's true.
Could you repeat that 1.5 inches above what?
1.5 above the mouth of the bottle. So from there, anywhere up in here where the curve starts, you'll be fine. So anything below that, it will not seat inside our launcher. We have 2 launchers. Hopefully, I can get new cabinets for both of them before the competition. We are in desperate need of them, so, but the launcher will stay exactly the same. They will still have push buttons, and we'll go from there. But basically, it'll be the same exact launcher as this. This will be one we use. They can use elastic devices within the parameters of the rules. It's got to be inside the nose cone. It's something they'll have to research and figure out. I won't give any clues on how to do it, but there are websites out there that they can learn how to make the nose cone come off every time. Is it necessary? No. I've never used anything to help that nose cone come off with my kids. My kids have always messed with water levels, balance of the rocket, and always had good success. Items that are allowed. Well, let's start with what we can't use. We cannot use any commercially made rocket component. That means a rocket component they can't use. So they can't go and buy a rocket parachute. They can buy a rocket fabric parachute and build it themselves. But if I see grommets sewed in, I'm going to say, who's the seamstress? And they're going to tell me right away, well, my mom did it. And guess what? We have a problem now. So be smart on there. Fabrics, everybody's gone different ways with parachutes. Fabrics work well for some, not well with others. I've always used just real thin drop cloth from Home Depot. Kids build them within an hour. They build a nice parachute, and it works just fine. So it's up to their preference what they want. Sharp-pointed objects. Can't have any sharp-pointed objects on the rocket itself. Even your wings have to be rounded. The reason for that is if it comes down and hits somebody, they're going to get hurt. Realistically, if a rocket goes up and comes straight down, they're going to get hurt, but we don't want them getting cut wide open. Let's see, I got lost here, I'm sorry. They can only use hot glue and super glue. They can use on anything except the pressure vessel. Pressure vessel cannot have either one of them because that'll weaken the pressure vessel and it will blow up on the pad. It will, I promise you. Okay, so if you're gonna attach a sleeve to the outside of the bottle and tape it, and then you wanna do hot glue or something else on the wings to get it to this sleeve, I'm good with it. But it can't be hot glued or super glued directly to the pressure vessel. So, and never have my kids ever used either one of them, and their wings have never had a problem. As long as you give it the proper time to set, there's silicone, there's PL blaster, there's all kinds of stuff you can use. No glass, no metal. The only metal they can use are snap swivels. Snap swivels are only used because it's a quick way for them to change parachutes, nose cones. It's on, it's off. So a lot of times I'll see a key ring. Key ring's not legal. They're going to have to cut it out and they're going to have to fix it. So snap swivels only. In the past it said 2, now it doesn't have a number, so however many you want to use. But again, the more snap swivels you use, the more chances of the strings getting tangled. So I would think 2 would be the most you'd want to use, but that's up to you guys. Again, we cannot modify this pressure vessel. I can't stress that enough. When the rocket launches, they got to be connected. Nose cone, parachute, they got to stay intact. So that means when it launches, it's got to go up. Nothing can come off the rocket. If something comes off the rocket, it automatically gets dropped into a different scoring system. So they got to stay attached to make sure everything's connected nicely. When the rockets, some rockets will go up, come straight back down, hit the ground, and then implode, and things will break off. That's all right. Once it makes contact with something and something breaks off, it still stays in the upper bracket. Only time it drops down is something comes off going up or coming down until it touches the ground. Does everybody understand that? There's always a question about that every year. Time aloft is the first gasp of air we hear coming out of it is when clocks start until any object touches the ground. ground, tree, building, any of that. So if we're in the back there and they float over to the building and they hit the building, time stops as soon as it touches the building. If it floats back over the building, as soon as we lose sight, time stops. Okay? And that's how we judge time. What we do is we have 3 timers. We throw out the high, we throw out the low, and we take the middle time. Okay? And in the rare case we have a tie, we go to the second launch. So if you don't have a second launch because your rocket was so good that it's lost and you only have the 1 launch, the other team has a launch, even if it blows up, they're going to beat you out. So make sure you bring enough rockets. Does everybody understand that about losing sight? Our timers, I'm very lucky. I have a lot of people come back year after year, same people. They do a pretty good job running the track as far as they can. But sometimes it's out of our control. It depends where we're at. 22 inches, a little different from last year. That's from the mouth of the bottle. What I'm going to do is, when they check in, I'm going to have a little gauge. And with the nose cone on, I'm just going to put it flat on the table and make sure it stays below the 22-inch mark. And if it's above, even if it's because their nose cone is packed not the right way and their parachute's bopping it up 1/4 of an inch, they're going to have to make it work. They're going to have to get it under 22 before I let them go put water in. Okay. Anytime we have a problem with the construction on the rocket, I'll come see you, but I don't want the kids coming to see you. I'll tell them what's wrong with it. They have to make an adjustment. It's up to them to have their toolkit with them and get it done. Okay? We don't want you telling them, well, you got to do this, you got to do that, this is what you do. I'm going to run to the car and get you this. They need to have it. On the parachute, in the past, a lot of people use a pointed object on the parachute, on the nose cone. We have to have a rounded nose cone. All I'm going to do is take a cap from the 2-liter. I'm going to place it on top of the nose cone, and if it touches the center of that cap and not the outside edges, they have to fix it. That's explained right in that picture. They can't come to a point. We have to have it a blunt in there, and it's actually pretty easy to do. Most kids can do it even with tape. Rockets have to fit on our launch pad. Both of our launchers, one's a little different than the other, but both blocks are almost identical. So that 1.5 inches will give us plenty of room. Energy to propel the rocket, they have to use my water. Okay, I'll get water from the school there. If they have their way of measuring is, say, 16 ounces of water and they bring that bottle, that's fine with me, but it has to be empty. They cannot bring water because I don't know if it's tonic water, I don't know what it is, it might help it a little more advantage than the next person. So they must use the water we supply. 75 pounds pressure, that's what we use. They'll be set at 75 all day long. I do test these the day of the event. I have a gauge that they will both be at 75 exactly. Every year I have the same question. I have a dad come up and say, that wasn't 75 pounds. Well, right there tells me Dad was putting the water in, because if it doesn't sound like 75 pounds, you got more water than you should. That's the only thing that's going to prevent a good launch, is they have too much water, because you won't get the right mixture of air and water. Parts can separate in flight. They have to separate if you want a good launch. Nose cone has to be connected by a lanyard. Parachute has to be connected. So everything has to stay intact. The school name and number needs to be somewhere on there. It's up to you. You can put your phone number. We've had teams lose their rockets and get a call a week later that it's a mile from where they're at. It's a great thing if you can get a good rocket back. They should bring when they come to check in, they should bring their rockets and their toolkit. I'm going to kind of look through them, see the paint they use, see the tape they use, see the glue they use. I'm going to look through, see what they are, make sure it's all legal. Again, adult coaching is not permitted the day of the competition. I'm very easygoing until I get pushed. I mean that seriously. This is their day. A lot of you in here know me. I get very upset out there when parents continually, I got to go to the same one saying, please. I'll usually go one time and then I just give them the hug. I may ask them, it depends on the day. If it's windy, I'm not gonna make them open the parachutes. They can pack them the night before and they're set. If it's a nice, beautiful day, I might say, okay, we're gonna open parachutes. However I start the day is how we're gonna finish the day. So if the first one comes out and it's a 65-degree day, not a wind in the sky, we're gonna open parachutes. The day changes, we're still gonna open parachutes. So how we start the day is how we end the day. Same way with our launches. The way I set them up in the morning is the way they're gonna be until the last launch of the day. You can't move them. They have to be in the exact same spots. Sometimes the winds change as the day progresses. We cannot move them according to our rules. So they have to stay in the same spot. 2 launches. They can use 2 different rockets. They can use one rocket with the nose cone from the other rocket, however they want. It's just they're gonna get 2 launches, one on one launcher, one on the other. And then, of course, the better time is what is scored, and then the second launch is just your, for backup.
I have a question, I'm sorry. So you can build 2 different rockets, use one each time, it doesn't have to be the same?
Yep. Now, say they go out there and they get a 17-second launch, and their other rocket typically is not as good, they might want to launch the same one. Teams that have 3 people on them, my suggestion to you is let all 3 build their own rockets. They can, after it's built, they can borrow from each other. This girl made a great nose cone, this guy made a great fin. They can interchange after that, but this way everybody's involved in the same thing. 75 pounds, that's what it'll be set at. Anybody within 30 feet of the launcher has to have eyeglasses. I'll have safety glasses there throughout the day. I don't know how long they'll be there. They seem to walk away. It's normal, they're kids. As soon as I put pressure on the vessel, they can't touch the rocket anymore. So I can't stress enough, the nose cone, we have to do a good job with them to make sure that it's sturdy. And if you first start putting pressure on it, you'll see it on your practice launches, the nose cone bounces a little bit. The whole rocket jumps a little bit, so the nose cone moves. So once there's pressure, I'll ask the kids, how do they want it? Best I'll do is straighten it out to their liking, then we're gonna continue on. But they can't touch it from that point forward, and there will be a bounce, I will tell you right now. Every nose cone will move a little bit. If it's a windy day, I might hold the nose cone in place until we're ready to launch. That's, I only think, the only fair thing to do, because I hate to see a kid work for 3 months and not have a nose cone on there successfully for the start of launch at least. If it's a windy day, we'll do our very best to launch it as quickly as we can. I'll try to bring some tents out there that I'll try to block the wind. It always gets windy out there. But once it's launched, it is, actually wind helps you as it's going up because it can't come off early unless it's knocked off early. So best time of loft winds. If, again, anything hits a stationary object, time stops. If it's a lamppost, if we're in the parking lot. If it's a tree, if we're on the football field, or else if we lose sight. Rockets that do lose a component going up, that could be tape, that could be string, that could be the nose cone, it could be anything. If something falls off the rocket and we see it, the time stops as soon as that piece hits the ground and automatically drops into the bottom level. It has no chance of winning that rocket. So they're probably playing for just points to get them a little bit of points in the overall score. Teams that can't launch because they don't have the time to fix the rocket, or else they didn't bring a rocket, will get participation points only. So if you don't launch, you're going to be put in last place. So when you're all, say we got 80 teams, you're the 80th place. That's 80 points for your team. That brings your overall team up. The object of Science Olympiad is to have the low points win. First place gets 1 point. Second place gets 2 points. So the lowest number is the ultimate winner overall. And then longest time aloft wins. So again, I'm going to stress, I'll answer any questions in a minute, but this is their day. I coach travel softball, and it's hard for me to sit back and let failure happen. They practice on the practice field, they play in the game. After the game, then we discuss what we did wrong. But let them go. Okay? Any questions?
What's the, what kind of time are we shooting for? What's a winning time?
Year to year, it changes. 2 years ago, I think our winner, we lost sight of after a minute, 20 seconds, I believe. Last year, I think our winner was 40 seconds. So everything changes year to year. And this year, typically, you've got shorter rockets, we'll have better times, we'll have better launches. They seem to do a lot better job with a shorter rocket. You'll get higher flights, and you'll get better time aloft. Hold on.
How do you suggest coaching the kids since it's cold outside?
Well, the first time you guys get together, here's how we always did it. I mean, you guys can do it your way. First time we met, some of them don't even know each other. We get together in the school library there, they got all the computers up, and we get together and say, okay, we're gonna just Google what we wanna do. And we get them going on what's their plan, what are they gonna need. Then your next time you get together, you're gonna have to go shopping for whatever you guys need. You're gonna need whatever material you are gonna use for fins. You're gonna have to make sure they have bottom. You're gonna have to make sure you get the right glues. So these are things you guys should do as a group. That way they understand. And then they can start laying it out on paper. Everything you do, document. Because say you get a rocket that you built with this fin, and it launched, and it was up there for a minute, and it got stuck in a tree, you don't get it back. You want to be able to duplicate that rocket. So make sure you document everything you do. Because if it worked this time, theoretically, it should work the next time as long as it's built the same.
Guide rod this year?
Fire?
Guide rod or not?
I'm sorry, I can't.
Is there a guide rod this year? Launch
No,
rod?
no guide rods. There's no reason for them. In the past, we'd have a rod sticking up, and all they did was to hold it until we pressurized it. As soon as you get to about 20 pounds of pressure, rocket's gonna get 90 degrees regardless. Doesn't matter if it's on their 45-degree angle at the start. Once you get to 20 pounds, it's gonna be 90 degrees straight up and down. You have them? The PCB is down south. We've been getting calls from the Science Olympiad down south that the bottles are changing down there to a smaller diameter. They won't fit on our fixture to fit in here. All it is a simple 1/2 inch PVC pipe. It's got to fit on the inside of the bottle. Make sure that happens and we won't have a problem. We've yet to see anything bad up here in Michigan. Go ahead.
1 to 3 kids per team. How many teams can you have?
Well, they'll only have one team of school.
1 team of school.
Now, when you guys go to your districts and all that, I think, one of them, I know, I run all the districts usually. One of them has like 3 teams here, but the day of the main competition, there's 1 team for every school.
What kind of glues you can use? Any restriction on what type of glue you can use?
They can use any glue as long as it doesn't have the cyanonitrate and hot glue. They cannot use just on the pressure vessel.
Oh, okay.
But if you're sleeving it, or else if you're using it on the nose cone, they can use whatever they want.
On the bottle, know how to do.
All right.
On the bottle, no. Bottle.
Not on the pressure vessel. On anything else, they can.
Or cyanonitrate.
Right, I don't even know if that's what it's called, but it's the same glue that's in super glue, and it's right on there. But if they're gonna sleeve it, they can do whatever they want to it. Then I'm not stressed about it. The only reason we don't want it to blow up on the pad. It is kinda cool. It's light. It's loud. Another thing I didn't cover, I'm pretty flexible. Kids are, groups of 3s, have them all at the right time, because you're gonna get times when you're supposed to launch. Just come to me. If they're in A is for anatomy, and they're studying for 3 months, this is the fun event. In my mind, the funnest event out there. That crash cart's kind of giving me competition, but we want them to all enjoy this. So if you come to me and say, hey, they can't be together till 11 o'clock, we got a 9 o'clock flight, can we come then? Can we come at a different time? I'll fit you in as long as I can. If we have an opening, I'll fit you in. I can't bump somebody that's on their time to let you guys in. See what I'm saying? But we want them all together. So, and I'm out there till, I want to say usually 1:30 is our last launch usually, and we're pretty good about staying on time. So, but I'm out there, and if, so be it. If it's 1:30, you got to come then, I'm good with it. Everybody's done by then. Also, they're going to get a book from me, just a little binder, and it's going to have a sheet of paper in it saying launch 1, launch 2. I have to get that folder back. If I don't get that folder back, 3 years ago, I had to track a school down. It took me like 3 hours. That's not gonna happen again. If I go in there and I'm missing school number 32s, 32 doesn't have a score. So I have to make sure the kids know, I'll tell them when they get the book from me, I have to get it back to you. They have to turn that back in.
What date is this lunch?
Oh, honestly, I know it's in May. I wanna say it's the weekend before Mother's Day. I wanna say. May 9th? So I know it's a Saturday, and I know it's at Macomb Community College.
Big construction, can't be sharp, more or less rounded underneath.
Everything's gotta have a round to it. Is that it?
Even the fins,
Pardon?
the fins as well?
Everything. Nothing can come to a sharp point.
And does, but the fin doesn't live up to this bottle thing?
No, it just can't come to a sharp point.
Right.
And that's covered in one of the rules. It says nothing can come to a sharp point. Again, if you guys are building down the road, you can email the Science Olympiad thing for questions. Just remember, whatever, you might have the greatest idea in the world, but once you ask that question, all of you have that great idea. So the way I like to explain it is, if it doesn't say you can't do it, you can do it. But again, thank you guys for your time. Thank you guys for doing this for the kids. And I will thank you the day of the competition if I don't have to kick you out.